carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure. Caring for people was at the core of who he was.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Pretti was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street.
Yeah, Pretti had a gun all right. Don't worry about that. So he wasn't what they made him out to be.
Shortly after the altercation we filmed here on January 13th, federal agents drove away. Soon after that, we left the scene.
CNN is learning that Alex Pretti had a physical encounter with federal agents about a week before he was shot and killed by law enforcement. Sources tell CNN that Pretti broke a rib when a group of federal officers tackled him while he was protesting. Priscilla Alvarez is breaking that story for us. What else are you hearing, Priscilla?
Dana, we're learning more details along with my colleague Jeff Winter about what exactly transpired a week before Alex Pretti was shot in Minneapolis and died this past weekend. Now, in this earlier incident, he stopped his car after observing ICE agents chasing what he described as a family on foot and began shouting and blowing his whistle. Pretti later told one of these sources that 5 agents tackled him and one leaned on his back, appearing to leave him with a broken rib. According to this source, and I'm quoting here, that source said, quote, "That day he thought he was going to die." Now, Pretti was later given medication that is consistent with treating a broken rib, according to records reviewed by CNN. Sources also say that he was known to federal law enforcement, though it's unclear whether it was this incident or another with federal agents that they knew of him. It's also unclear whether the officers who tackled him on Saturday knew who he was. What we do know, however, is that federal immigration officers have been collecting personal information of protesters and agitators within the context of what the Department of Homeland Security has warned is repeated threats towards officers as they are conducting immigration enforcement operations. In fact, just Tuesday, the department also publicized an online tip form to share information about people allegedly harassing ICE officers. We've also heard Tom Homan, the White House border czar, say that a database would be created for those who are arrested for impeding law enforcement. But thus far, in our queries to the Department of Homeland Security, they have said that no such database exists.
Unbelievable. There's a lot more to peel back there. Thank you so much for bringing us that news, Priscilla.
Look at you! Pepper spray, bitch! Look at you, motherfucker! Fuck you guys! Fucking trash! Fucking trash!
Nothing's inconsistent with this being a lawful use of force by the officers.
Yeah, explain that a bit more. Many people still wondering if the shooting was legally justified, and given what you've been able to review up until now, what is your opinion?
Well, the legal question is, did the officers who shot Alex Pretti have a reasonable, not necessarily correct, but a reasonable perception that he was presenting as an imminent, unlawful, deadly force threat? And that's presumed to be the case. A prosecutor would have to disprove that proposition beyond any reasonable doubt. So it's a very high burden to overcome that justification. And what evidence did these officers have? Well, the moment Alex Pretti interfered with the arrest of the woman in the white coat, gets shoved by a CBP officer, he makes contact with that officer. The moment he makes contact with that officer, he's just committed a federal felony good for 8 years in a federal penitentiary. That's why they were seeking to make his arrest, because they saw him commit a forcible felony against a fellow officer. Then he's non-compliant with arrest. He's fighting them. Then they discover he has a gun on his person. They take that gun. There's cries of gun, gun, gun. The officers call to each other. He's still non-compliant. They hear a gunshot go off, and Alex Pretti's right hand comes from his waistline with a black object in his hand. That combination of facts is going to get you shot 999 times out of 1,000 by law enforcement, and justifiably so. They're making all these perceptions, all these decisions in a violent, chaotic melee caused by Alex Pretti. They have to make all these decisions in a split second because that's how quick someone can use a weapon against you. And those decisions, again, they don't have to be correct. The law of self-defense does not require us to make perfect decisions. It requires us to make reasoned decisions, meaning you're applying your powers of reason to the facts presented to you. You're not making things up. You're not speculating someone could have a weapon. Now, probably the item in his hand would turn out to be maybe one of his spare magazines or maybe a cell phone. But it doesn't matter what it actually was. It matters how it would be reasonably perceived given that combination of facts. And reasonably perceiving it as a weapon is well within the realm of reason.
We were told Alex Pretti was just a peaceful nurse at the wrong place at the wrong time, delivering first aid to an injured protester. Well, we just obtained new video days before the shooting of a man who appears to be Pretti being not so peaceful. The Pretti family attorney and family members confirmed to the Minnesota Star-Tribune that the person in the video is Pretti. CNN reported that Pretti had a broken rib from an altercation with federal agents a week before his death. CNN claimed Pretti was just driving around minding his own business when he saw ICE agents chasing an immigrant family down the street. He went after them, jumped out of his car to help the family, then was tackled. Now, if this is the incident, it looks like CNN had bad sources. This video shows the individual with similar clothing, and what looks and appears to be a handgun in the same place that it was at the time of the shooting, kicking the taillight out of a federal vehicle in the middle of an apprehension operation, and then violently resisting arrest. At one point, it even looks like he spits at the window of the ICE agent's vehicle. Homeland Security tells us the video's under investigation. This doesn't mean that his shooting a week later was justified. That's still under investigation. but it does paint a different picture of who Pretti was and the kind of violent attacks that ICE and Border Patrol have to deal with while they're arresting criminal aliens.
Just be careful who you listen to out there, people, because
they chose to they killed the wrong guy, right? Because this is like the perfect guy. Alex Pretti is the guy you would want to date your daughter, the guy you would want your son to grow up to be, a decent human being who was serving humanity, serving sick veterans, who is you know, there is nothing that has been said about that man that isn't wonderful. And so they can't malign him. They can't malign him because we have the videos.
well, she got that wrong, viewers.
They're lying. We saw it. And that's how brazen they lie when they know we've seen the truth. That's how they lie when they know we know. Imagine how they lie when there's no evidence to contradict them. And maybe that more than anything explains why Alex Pretti really was a threat. Because he was brandishing a weapon. A handheld, aluminum, 1080p, 60 FPS weapon of mass illumination. Because there is nothing more dangerous to a regime predicated on lies than witnesses who capture the truth.
Well, he got that wrong as well. Well, it seems like Ali Pretti was a very unhinged man to me.
Fuck you! Fuck out of here!
There he is in the background.
Fuck you!
Would you go and do that to federal police? I'm sure I wouldn't.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Every mistake you made in your life is fucking wrong! Look at you!
You know, I'm a bricklayer and I couldn't lay bricks with all that noise going on. I don't know how these people are doing their job. Look, look. That's Alex.
Fuck you guys!
Yeah, he is the sort of guy you want your daughter to marry, apparently. And he spits on him. What a grub. Oh, and then he kicks the tail light out of it. Look, he's kicked the tail light out of the car. He asked for it. He asked for it, didn't he? He asked for it, and he got what he asked for. This time he wasn't shot, but he was shot on the next one. He was a menace, unfortunately. And it was his decision to be out there, it was his decision to abuse federal agents, and it was his decision to kick the tail light out of the back of the car. And not long after that, viewers, it was his decision to get himself shot. Bye for now.